I love Philippians chapter 4, verse 6. Don't worry. Paul says, instead of worrying, what should we do? Pray. Pray. And then James chapter 4, verses 2 and 3. Where do wars come from? Where do fights and quarrels come from? Why do they break out in churches and among friends? You want stuff and you don't get it, so you fight with other people over it. He says what you ought to do is you ought to pray and ask God, who gives generously. He said you want and you don't have because you don't what? Ask. Now, does that mean God gives me everything I ask for all the time?
No.
Or does it mean sometimes he teaches me what I really need? May not be what I want. You bet. I love what C.S. Lewis said. C.S. Lewis said, I don't pray to God to change God. I pray so God can what?
Change me.
And he says, wake up, because if you don't, he said, when you least expect it, there am I. What that means is, don't waste your time. We've been given a precious gift. Precious gift of life. The precious gift to love and to make a difference. I want to close with the words of writer Rob Bell. Bell writes about Jesus' words concerning judgment, and there are words here of judgment for this church. And he says, these are strong, shocking images of judgment and separation in which people miss out on rewards and celebrations and opportunities. And he's talking about all the words of Christ in the Bible about judgment. Jesus tells these stories to wake us up to the timeless truth that history moves forward. What did Jesus tell the church in Sardis? What did he say to them? Wake up. History moves forwards, not backward or sideways. Time does not repeat itself. Neither does life. While we continually find grace waiting to pick us up off the ground after we have fallen, there are realities to our choices. While we may get other opportunities, we won't get the one right in front of us again. Is that important to remember?
Yes.
That specific moment will pass and we will not see it again. Jesus doesn't play patty cake about that. It comes, it's here, it goes, and then it's gone. Jesus reminds us in a number of ways that it is vitally important we take our choices here and now as seriously as we possibly can, because they matter more than we can begin to imagine. Whatever you've been told about the end of your life, the end of time, the end of the world, Jesus passionately urges us to live like the end is here now, today. Love is what God is. Love is why Jesus came. And love is why he continues to come, year after year, to person after person.
Hallelujah.
So, how do I close? Well, at the end of a sermon, maybe every preacher should just simply say, wake up! And that's what Jesus said to them in the beginning. Wake up. Listen. I think he's got some good advice for us here. What do y'all think?
Amen.
You bet. And it's not just to understand the problem, but I think he gives us some good advice about how to avoid it. Let's stand up together, and I'm going to ask you, Monty, if you'd